All right, it's Wednesday, August 30th. This is an end of the day SPY recap. And today, after a big green bar up yesterday, we continue a little bit higher on a 2-up day. Not quite the momentum of the previous day, and you kind of are anticipating that, a little bit of consolidation. I'll show you that in a minute on the intraday chart. But nevertheless, you're above the midpoint of the prior day. You're clearly at a little bit of short-term exhaustion risk, being two up, the third 2-up day in a row, and you're kind of gapping up to form that 2-up. You can see the target right here. We just missed it. This is on the weekly chart. As we kind of broaden out higher, we kind of suspected after this target didn't fail that we're heading towards that target. So we just missed that. So you still think we're going to get up there, some point Thursday and Friday, but you never know. We're at a little exhaustion risk. Maybe we get a 2 down bar that goes into this fair value gap before eventually moving higher. But until this weekly chart now, reverses to the downside, we're going to be biased to the upside for a while. And we have the monthly chart with a couple, a day to go. It looks like this is going to close with a nice hammer looking bar, which generally should follow through higher. If we get the 2 up on the month, then we're working back towards, these highs right up here of the previous month. So a lot of things are staying consistent to the upside at the moment. In terms of trading it, it's not necessarily, according to the methodology I look at, easy to trade. But in terms of price action, it was pretty clear what was unfolding. So in other words, it's no real actionable signal here. You're just playing momentum to the upside. So is it surprise? So out of the gates, the first bar kind of comes up green, and it looks like it wants to maybe, fail at the pre-market highs and maybe test lower first. But then the 5-minute chart, which I could show you, or the 15-minute chart, makes a new high. So there's kind of a momentum buy to start. If we look at the 5-minute chart, the way this was unfolding, you're kind of watching the up open. And, well, let me zoom it in a little bit clearer here, if I can do that. On the 5-minute chart, because I was watching that. It was a pretty nice, first bar up, second bar failure down, third bar failure down, then you kind of get that 2-up bar right in here, or the inside bar breakout to the upside. So you were kind of suspecting that 15-minute chart was going to take out that high, and there's a buy right here. Now obviously it went up nicely, for on the 15-minute chart, for one big bar, then a second bar. And at that point, there was enough opportunity to scale out, set up an overtrade trade the way I normally do if you would have been trading this index. And then boom, this is kind of what goes on, when you're at exhaustion risk every so often. Big red bar takes out that first bar low all in one, sharp move down, but then you get the so basically what it's doing now as we head higher here, we're just kind of, if you can't get momentum to the upside, you're generally going to take out liquidity. So, it came down here, paused on an inside bar, then this this inside up bar right here eventually goes back to the high of the day. And then at that point, let me just zoom it out. Once you hit the high of the day, you just kind of consolidate for the rest of the day. So is it easy trading? No, there were a couple of stocks that actually, some stocks like Apple today worked nicely out of the gates to its target. Other stocks like Nvidia and Tesla, I believe, had pretty good red to green moves to start that worked up towards those intraday highs. So there were a bunch of stocks to trade. The index itself, again, you just have to know that this opening trade, while it started up, was at a potential for exhaustion risk. So just not surprising at all that at some point you're going to get some sharp pullback, and not surprising when you take out liquidity to the downside. Yeah, you thought maybe when you took out this first bar low, you could have been going down to take out the pre-market lows kind of down here before heading higher, but price action then kind of tells you, using kind of the strat principles, inside bar, break to the upside. So at least for that moment, you're kind of biased back up along with, you kind of took out liquidity to the downside. This could be an aggressive signal. It's not according to the methodology I really use, but, I can sense that you were chopping around in here. As it turns out, this move up, this signal to the upside did work to the target high of the day before it just kind of consolidated. So again, not the easiest day to trade on the SPY. You're expecting a little consolidation after that big push up. We still have targets up above here, but, even this now, another push up is more exhaustion risk. So the ideal trades are going to be kind of pullbacks that start up at some point, point. Since we have the start of the month coming pretty soon, we'll look for something like that. At some point, you really do expect this 2-up month to begin and take out those highs. So, ideally, you can get a little bit of a consolidation pullback first before it heads higher. So we'll keep an eye out for that. But for today, it's just a type of thing where you knew a big green bar, expected consolidation, and again, just not surprising price action wise to kind of see, the follow through, sharp pullback, and then just consolidation. And again, taking out some targets along the way, which was essentially on the way down, it took out the first bar low, and on the way up, it took out the intraday high. So that's kind of what algorithms do. They kind of know where the stops are, and they get there. So, you had the higher high, lower low, higher high, consolidation. So we'll see what happens tomorrow.